Why do you say that, Kif?
It's
Dude, everyone's fucking blowing up my phone today, dude.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
Getting the same thing. I started stream by the way. Let me make sure Twitter posted it because it has been doing it. Twitter has not.
Yeah, do we have a referral link that we can share with people that want to join a trial with us?
Not have referral links set up, but if you do invite a friend and they sign up, just DM us because we give you guys a little cut if your friends join.
Nice, didn't know that.
Kif, do you still have 1218 or did you move into January? '31st. Oh, 31. Summer end. $31 strike or 12/31 expiration? $31 calls. Yeah, so I still have a position for the 18th, which I'm getting ready to roll pretty soon. So I'm down 50% on it, but the rest of my stuff is January 15th.
Hey Justin, he said, did you see the golden sweeps on Spy? I'm guessing you're talking about like a cheddar flow thing. I don't actually have cheddar flow. JMA usually calls that stuff out though.
Golden sweeps on SPY.
Were they bullish
Were they
sweeps or
opening
bearish?
orders? He's talking about the puts maybe that I pointed out.
Yeah, are you talking about the puts that were for, what were they, like 362,
363,
363?
363, 364s.
Yeah. Yeah, JMA called out those ones earlier.
That's the one he's talking about.
Oh, he hasn't said it yet. To the ones with 1 date expiration, yeah.
Yeah,
JMA
those
called
are
those
the
out.
puts.
Yeah, tons of volume on the 364, 363, and the 365 puts. Oh, and all of them. Look at the 366s now, 108,000.
People are buying them up.
Yeah. Lots of volume on the puts. They're betting on the gap fill. Same thing that I've been talking about. There's a big gap below you on SPY, 362, 363. They're betting on that filling by tomorrow, which would be nasty. That would be nasty. I think it's like a 2% drop. Yeah, a 1% drop. It was 2%. Biggest thing to watch is this line right here on ES. You have that nasty Marubozu candle golfing basically downward. Typically the middle of that candle is going to be a lot of resistance. You have like a little sell zone right here. And then you tried to push up, get into that resistance, you couldn't do it. So as long as this holds, you're betting on that gap filling. Which is, if you do the same exact analysis on SPY, not as clean, but it would be something like this. You would have to reclaim 369. As long as you don't reclaim that little sell zone, targeting the gap fill. That technique works better on ES because it's like almost 24/7. But you could still do the same thing on SPY. Like I was saying last week, is what I'm worried about is this in September. You have that nasty blow off top. You're just uptrending, uptrending, uptrending all the way up, and then boom, nasty candle. And that's kind of what we're seeing on a lower scale. Uptrending all the way up, and then you get a nasty candle. You lose the ADMA. Take the middle of that candle. Basically, until you reclaim that, you're bearish. You try to reclaim it here, nuked. Then you finally reclaimed it. You tested it, ran. So it's kind of the same thing here. If you're bullish, you're basically knife catching until that gets flipped. Once you flip that, then you can be bullish. And you're targeting 3753, 3884, 3928. Hey, Digital, what's going on? How's your steel treating you? Pulled back a little bit yesterday, but you're going back up. What about Katos? Katos pulled back a little bit, but still, you're well in profit. Chris said all you need is a 20 and a 200 MA. Yeah, some people like moving averages, man. I'm not a big moving average guy. I like using the ADMA. Then I also have this like value moving average here, but I don't use them for like actual trade signals. I just like having them on my chart to kind of get an idea. Bearish or bullish right now? My portfolio is long-sided. I am long biased, but I am hedged already.
Can you guys hear my cat?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
He's purring very loud.
GameStop gap down on earnings, but it's already reclaiming it. Doesn't look too bad. You might go for a gap fill. This is what JMA was saying earlier this week. A lot of these companies that have this nasty gap down on earnings, they almost all retrace and fill the gap. Saw that on a lot of the data server companies. They gapped down on earnings, and they pushed up and filled the gap. GameStop also has great news with the console sales, and then you have all the new games coming out towards the holidays. You had the Call of Duty launch, all that stuff. So it doesn't look too bad. I think as long as you stay above. Oh, look at that! I have this charted out already. So this is an old chart, but you are
Tesla.
bouncing off support. As long as it stays above 13, I'd say it's pretty good.
Tesla moving seas.
Yeah, it's gonna put in a new high today if it keeps going. Which is good because my my debit spread for tomorrow is top side is 620, so as long as it stays above 620.
Yeah, 633 is the next Tesla target. You don't have a target until 679. You could target 650. 679 would be the daily target. Digital said, yeah, Hex and Katos have been doing okay, considering the overall pullback, but Shop and MSCI have been doing the best for me the last 2 days. Yeah, I saw Shop across my scanner the past few days. Has not been doing bad. Oh yeah, it had a nice little bullpen in here, broke out, but then it faked out because of yesterday's sell-off. Now you're kind of back inside that pennant. Doesn't look too bad though. Nice little piercing candle. This would be kind of the same thing that I talked about on SPY. I would take like the middle of this range, middle of this candle, which you're currently failing. But once you start to get above this little sell zone right here, that would start to be really bullish for me. So like 1130, that would be a nice little target. Justin said, what do you think about FSR? Because I saw there was a lot of silver sweeps yesterday. FSR. Fisker. What does this have to do with silver? Isn't Fisker EV?
Yeah, I thought it was EV too.
Fisker was one that Johnny used to like. I don't think he's in it anymore. $13.60 for Shopify is your target. What's it currently at? Oh, so you're looking for a big gain. Gotcha. It looks like it can, man. The weekly is looking like the FANG charts where you have a massive distribution, but you're kind of hovering towards the top of that distribution, so you're ready to rip. The FANG chart looks exactly like this. Basically, all the big tech companies. If you look at FANG here, see how it's almost identical. Distribution, but you're kind of hovering towards the top. If you look at the weeklies on big tech, they all look the same. Big distributions. Kind of the same thing that Tesla had back here, and then it ripped higher. Justin, yeah, I think FSR is a EV company if I'm not mistaken.
Fisker.
You might be talking about a different company. It doesn't look too good though. If it chills out here, it's okay. You just filled a gap. But if you go below this gap, it's not good. You're kind of putting in a massive head and shoulders.
Yes. He sold the Tesla?
Bump it.
Pump it.
You have a lot of support here. Like you have this little support right here, little support right here, but you have that gap fill. So if you lose that gap, probably go back to the point of origin. I think there's a lot of charts that look better than this. I'd put my money elsewhere. Johnson & Johnson's running off the lows today.
And it.
If this doesn't explain to you guys how crazy freaking Tesla options are, I've had this for 6 days, so I got it last week. 610, 620. You would think a spread, it's a little bit more protected from the wild swings. I got it at like $3. It went all the way up to $8. My dumbass didn't sell it. And it went all the way down to like $2. Went up to 5, down to like $1.50 yesterday, and now today back up to like 7.
Did you sell?
No, I'm holding it till tomorrow.
I called this out earlier. I told you guys that AI looked like it was putting in a 5-minute bulldog. Look at it.
Anything over like $7.50, $8 tomorrow, I'll probably close it.
He sold?
Bomb it.
AI looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Grab that at IPO, Connor.
Yeah.
Nice. I wish I saw that 5-minute bulldog that called the bottom of the IPO. That was fucking clean. Yeah, it went up almost 34% from that.
Yeah, I paid $100, I think, or 101.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, you just put in a massive volume node and you're ripping away from it. Looks really good. You get above like 125, it should fly.
What's high a day? I'm not looking at my charts right now.
High of day is 131.75. It's at 123.
Yeah, I don't think we'll hit that level again today. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, probably.
SPY looks solid, huh? Just checked.
Oh yeah, recovered a little bit. I think those lottos would still be getting murdered. Now they're back up a little bit. They're at 78. Holding them overnight would definitely get murdered. Unless it gapped up. So this is look at Qs. We had a big discussion earlier today about how failing inverse head and shoulders can turn into bulldogs. There's your example. Look at the 5-minute. You had an inverse head and shoulders. You failed. And now it's becoming a bulldog. Maybe a little pullback. Rip higher.
Hey, Deja, can I ask you about BE?
I'll take a look at it.
It looks good today.
Let me post. Compare that to the example I gave you guys earlier. Almost identical. Where is that example? Yeah, here you go. Look at this.
Johnson & Johnson really strong session here coming
Yeah.
into close.
It is. I think my leaps are paying. Bloom. It loves that trend line, dude. Every time you ask me about Bloom, it's like doing something with that trend line.
I bought it this time, so
Yeah, look at it here. I have not moved that trend line since the first time you asked me about it.
yeah, it's hitting the I think it's hitting the 20 EMA right now, or it was like a perfect bounce off it.
Yeah, it's right above the 8. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's like I think on my chart it's like in between the 8 and just bounced off the 21.
Yeah, it's giving a buy signal on the 4-hour OTS. Watch that pivot though. You got to get above 26.5.
Yeah, yeah, I bought it. I bought January's.
Yeah, you get above that pivot, should be fine. Just bounced off a 1-hour pivot.
Oh man, now I want to add to it.
I would probably wait to see if it breaks that pivot. If it breaks the pivot, you could probably add. Because then if it breaks the pivot, the only logical place for it to go is the gap fill.
Yeah, for that auto SR up at the top.
Yep.
Wu-Tang, you gonna watch the Pats tonight? Big game.
Oh.
Hey Zam,
Who
could
are
you
they
type in
playing?
this channel, man? I'm gonna ping you. This is the channel we all type in when we're in voice chat.
I was telling somebody that Cam Newton is basically Taysom Hill in his current form.
For real. That's funny.
From all the surgeries and stuff like that has turned him into basically Taysom Hill.
I just hope we don't re-sign him.
Who are they playing?
The Rams. It's gonna be tough.
They're getting
Ooh.
4.5 points. I'd hammer the Patriots getting 5.
Yeah, Zam, this is the channel that we all talk in. when we're in trading floor. Well, basically, this is our general chat. This is basically what we use for general chat. It just kind of became that way.
You think it'll be a tight game, or you think it will be a high scoring game?
I'm
C
betting the
just
under.
wants to know if he should take the over or under.
And that you read my fucking mind, bro. That's
Yo,
exactly what I'm looking at. The over under is 43. I'm thinking I'm taking the over.
Yo, Bambino Betts is a good follow. He's a historical handicapper out of Las Vegas. Seas. I learned a lot from him.
I can't believe you know about Bam. That's
He's
insane. You know him.
he's the GOAT, bro. I've been following him for like 4 years, I think. 3 years.
Dude, he got
What's his name?
famous from Bambino
Bambino
Betts.
Betts.
His name is it's like George. His name is his real life name is like George Kent or something.
Yeah.
Let me cut you guys
Oh,
off
I already
real
follow this
quick.
guy.
Look at J Maya. You guys were talking about it. It wasn't a rising wedge. You nuked out of it yesterday because of that sell off. You're ripping above it now. You just reclaimed the gap fill and you reclaimed the auto SR. You still in this, J May?
No,
Look at it now. It looks pretty good.
that Bambino bet says take the under. C's.
Yeah,
At
it's
Oh,
at,
45.
yeah.
Yeah.
This
but
is
it's at 43 and a half
Oh my
now.
god, this thing is ripping.
this is all you need on J Maya. Look at where it bounced today.
Yeah, the piv.
Pulled back to the pivot. You just ripped above the auto SR. You ripped above the gap fill.
You guys know who Vegas Dave is?
C's,
Yeah.
what's the never mind, go ahead.
Yeah, you fade anything Vegas ever touched.
That dude is the biggest troll in my life. He talks so much shit. He's such a clown.
How does he do it? How does he do it? How does he do it? Right?
He makes all his money off of selling. He doesn't actually win money betting. He makes all his money off of selling his stupid pigs, and people fall for it.
Yeah. Well, now he buys like purses and shit.
Stu Feiner.
He
That's the
got
biggest clown.
It's under
he
43
got
and a half now. Better odds.
he got indicted on some kind of tax fraud thing he was doing in the casinos and got banned.
Ooh, that looks really good, Digital. Digital just
Yes,
called out
yeah.
JEF.
I took it.
Dude, literally,
JEF.
look at this fucking thing. The weekly's bouncing off a pivot. The daily's ripping through an auto SR ascending triangle. I think this is a don't even think about it. Press the button.
What, Jeffries?
Yeah, Jeffries, yep.
I didn't know he was stealing social security numbers, but I knew he was doing something shady and he got indicted for federal charges.
The football bet. Jay.
What were you saying? Yeah, it's at 43 and a half. I took the under.
So Digital's calling out Jeffries.
Yeah, he said, keep your eyes on Jeff. It could get some big bids soon and begin another trending move towards $30. Ideally, I'd like to see 24.30 broken through before taking a position. Yeah, I'm with you. I would like to see about 24. I might just take it here just so I don't forget about it. Yeah, you're talking about breaking the high. There's a ton of auto SR levels here. Daily, 4 hour, 1 hour. Yeah, I like 24. This thing breaks 24, I'll buy it.
Yes, broke out of that falling wedge. Kind of a crazy falling wedge, but it looked like a falling wedge to me.
I got an alert set. Digital. It's a great chart. Good find.
Jeffries is a very slow mover, by the way. Financials.
I would just buy shares, yeah. That chart's too clean. What are their options like?
Jan 15, 25s or 65 cents.
They're dog shit volume though. They literally don't get traded. We would be market making these things. I would just buy shares, yeah.
You give us some time and get the March 30s.
Yeah, but look at the volume. Literally, you'd be it. You'd be the guy.
So you're saying if I bought a bunch, I'd be the one hitting the scanners?
Yeah, pretty much. Unusual options volume. 10 contracts traded.
Do it, woo.
The 25s for March don't look awful. They have no open interest, so you'd be the guy. But the the delta's good. The price is good.
And you know that their traders and expenses are both really, like, their traders have been doing really well and their expenses are super low if they haven't reported yet.
Is it a hedge fund?
Market maker, hedge
Yeah.
fund, investment bank. They do a ton of shit. I interviewed with them back in the day.
Yeah, they were one of my counterparties when I worked at State Street.
The play on Jeff would to be buy the shares at 24, stop loss at 20, and you just let it rip. If you want an options play on it, it would be buying the March 25s.
You think Tesla continues tomorrow?
As long as it stays above that 620, I think it does.
Me too.
Yeah, it's a beautiful chart. Fucking SPY coming back. So it did exactly what we said. Q's turned into a bulldog, and now the bulldog on Q's is saving SPY. Five-minute pivot on ES. You break this pivot, should rip. Oh yeah, sorry, I can post the Jeff chart. The Jeff chart is really clean because it lines up on the indicators on almost every time frame. So what did I tell you guys earlier? The ascending triangle with the auto SR or pivots on the high, you typically just buy those. As soon as that level breaks, don't even think about it. You just press the button. Daily, look at the daily. Look at the weekly. Look at the 4-hour. Every one of those charts screams buy. But don't buy them now. You wait till those resistance levels are broken. I have an alert set at 24. Because that will be clearing the 4-hour pivot. It will be clearing the daily pivot. Or sorry, the auto SR. And the weekly is already cleared. You're bouncing off a pivot.
Hey Deja, there was one that JMA was talking about. I think he had an alert set. NLS Nautilus.
Nautilus, yeah, I see it. Oh yeah, pivot. Look at the. Oh yeah.
Because it's my alert triggered on that one today. It looks like.
Yeah, JMA, do you see that? Did you take that yet? I think he's on the phone. I think I heard his phone ring.
Yeah, I just added him in the chat.
Yeah, that's disgusting, actually. Pivots are magnets, man. Pivots are magnets. You could buy that right now. You could have a tight stop loss on shares, like $2, which is not really tight. It's 12%.
On what?
That Nautilus thing you were talking about. Look at that
Yeah,
thing.
I'm longing it right now.
Dude, look at that pivot bounce.
Yep.
Disgusting.
I'm taking options on it. I gotta figure out what I'm targeting here.
1 hour bull div with a falling wedge. You are failing a pivot though. That's a little downside. If you bought that pivot, you literally have 0 drawdown.
Is there any 4-hour? There's a 4-hour auto SR at 18. How many?
Nasdaq just hit my alert. It's ripping through the inverse head and shoulders neckline, which is now the bulldog back.
What do we target here, Deja, on NLS?
Let me take a look. The falling wedge, so I would play the falling wedge. $20.66 or $22. So
20.
it would be a farther.
$20 or 22?
Yeah, it would be $20.60 or 22. It'd be a pretty long-term trade. You'd probably have to go out at least At
To
least a
January?
month. Yeah, it's January the lowest. Especially if it wants to retest the wedge, you're going to get murdered on short term. You're better off either
Yes.
going to the April 25s are not bad.
Too far out for me, man.
Yeah, it's a little far. That
I'm
would,
gonna do January 15th, $20 calls.
yeah, that's not bad. Short term, I'd go 20s. April, I'd go 25s. January 1750s are getting volume today. They bought that pivot. Yeah, I like that. 20s. I like the 20s. Could you sell puts on this thing? You would have to sell the 15s, which is pretty sketch. That's not too bad. If you wanted some premium, you could sell the 15s, buy the 1250s. You're receiving I think it's like a 45% credit. 39% credit. Pretty good.
All right, I sold HOLX. I'm out. It hit 76.
Deja, I got a quick question.
Yeah.
You know your videos about different option strategies?
Yeah.
Is that for members only, or can I send that along to a friend who asked?
It's members only, yeah.
Cool, thanks.
The there's 2 videos for that. The first video I had to remake. Are you talking about the remake?
I don't know. I remember it being in like the mentorship section.
Yeah, there's
One
2
of the,
there.
I watched
The good one, make sure you watch the good one, because the one that I had to do first, it's not bad, but it's not my best work. The second video, the remake, is much better.
Thank you.
Yep. Kif, if you bought 1,000 shares of NLS, the stop loss is pretty far percentage wise. Percentage wise, you'd want at least like a $2 stop loss. So percentage wise, it's gonna be a hit. I think I like the premium sell on NLS more than the call, buying the call. Zamster, we were selling premium pretty heavily like a month or so ago when the market was ripe for it. Right now the market is like extremely bullish, so you're better off just buying calls. But when the market is like kind of in like a medium environment where it's not so bullish or not so bearish and the volatility is high, then selling premium is pretty juicy. And we were doing that for quite some time.
Yeah, if anybody's in HOLX, I would seriously consider cutting down, taking some profit. If you have a lot, keep 1 or 2 left because of just how much it ran today. Like, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. The profit is there a lot. It went up a lot today.
Yeah, I like that trade as well, digital. Got a gap fill above you. You also have a pivot above you. What do you say, above 45? Yeah, I like that above 45. You have a pivot there. So if you break that pivot, it should be pretty good.
Was that a
HOLX
bulldog on
went up.
SPY that made it pump?
Yeah, it was a bulldog on the Nasdaq.
HOLX filled the gap, and it's up almost 6% today. It's usually a slow mover, so
SPY had like a micro
it's
bulldog.
huge.
Is the wick that's on SPY, like it's like a few candles back on the 15-minute, is that like a real, like actual wick, or is that some like one of those fake wicks?
I don't see it, so I think it's a bad print for you. That was digital Kif in Twitch chat or YouTube chat.
Yeah, it's somewhere between like 2:50 and 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't have a big wick there. Do I take this premium trade on NLS, or is it better to just buy the calls?
Does SPY look pretty bullish?
Yeah, Nasdaq is carrying it. I think the play on NLS is to sell premium. If it dips down, you could buy shares. Or you could wait for it to dip down and reclaim the wedge, buy shares. The weekly just broke a pivot, so that's a little sketchy. Weekly buy signal though on the OTS, and you're retesting an auto SR. I do need some premium too, because I'm theta negative right now.
DraftKings 53 tomorrow.
That would be nice. Yeah, I'm gonna try to sell premium on this. See if we get filled.
Yes. He sold?
Also, does it look like Q's lately has been like the better play than SPY?
It usually is. If you want more leverage, it outperforms both ways. I posted a trade in my channel. I'm not filled on that. That's just in order to sell premium on NLS. When it gets filled, I'll post it. Hopefully it gets filled by the end of the day. We have 20 minutes.
Yeah, Deja, is there a question? Is there a difference between support resistance and the buyer and seller? Like supply demand, I mean.
Not sure exactly what you're asking.
When people talk about supply and demand in charts, does that just mean support?
Oh, it's just different. Yeah, it's just different terms. It's also used for different things. So most of the time when people say supply and demand, they're typically commodities traders or forex traders use that term a lot too. The equities traders that use that term, they're basically just talking about support and resistance, and they're just trying to sound fancy. But for the most part, they're used in the same way. There's a lot that goes into it though. Like sometimes certain stocks can have like a big I don't know how to describe it in an easy way. Like certain zones on stocks can have like a shit ton of demand. Like maybe there's like a buyback there, or maybe there's some like fundamentals that provide a supply zone there or a demand zone there. You know what I mean? So they can use those terms in like exact ways. But the majority of the time when people use those terms, it's almost always they're just trying to sound fancy and they're talking about support and resistance. Like Rocket would be a good example. Like Rocket, they have a buyback below their current price. So you could say that there's a big demand below Rocket's current price. So if Rocket were to go down, the high demand should keep it up. Horizon is almost at my ad zone. You are getting a daily buy signal. DraftKings doesn't look bad. What do you use for scanners? You got something proprietary? Or you use like trade ideas? I'm using trade ideas for mine. You bought more Verizon today. It doesn't look awful. I wanted to add a little bit lower to lower my average, but it is giving a buy signal on my daily OTS. So Craft Hines doesn't look bad. You're retesting resistance. Yeah, 4 hours holding as well. Oh yeah, weekly's holding. Yep. You basically pulled back, retested resistance as support. You're getting a lot of retest. Yeah, almost every time frame. Doesn't look bad. Kraft Heinz is an extremely slow mover though. That's the problem with this one. You put money in this thing, you're holding on to it. It's proprietary. I gotcha.
Is there inverse head and shoulders on Boeing?
On like short time frame.
Yeah.
I don't see a really clean one. It does look like it's trying to put in a bulldog. If it bounces here. Yeah, digital. It'd be opportunity cost for something like that. Like it might pay off, but your money's gonna be locked up in it for a while. That thing's one of the slowest movers there are.
See, guys, this is another example. I'm getting buried on that fucking hedge I took. Buried on it.
Yeah, I'm not in options for Verizon.
Down 50 fucking percent on that what's it called? That hedge I took.
I'm in shares on Verizon. Did I call out those options? Those might have been ones that I made a call on, but I didn't take them. Let me take a look.
Feel bad for that guy that threw $1 million in it. That means he's down 500,000 right now.
Yeah, oh yeah, those are good contracts. Jay. Yeah, you could add anywhere from here, which is you're getting a buy signal on the daily, all the way down to like 58, because those April contracts are decently far away. You have a bigger zone to kind of add on to, and that's basically the same zone that I'm looking at. I could add some shares right here on Verizon. I did want to get a little bit lower though. It does have a nice buy signal though. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. You're below the 4-hour pivot, so I'm gonna wait on these. We'll see how they open up tomorrow.
On the upside, JMA, you had a good day. So
if they start bouncing off that pivot tomorrow, I might grab a few shares.
I'm down on my main account right now.
Yeah, I'm down on my account because of that fucking SPY day trade.
My TD account though, nice day.
I made back everything I lost yesterday.
Nice.
I didn't. I'm down even more today. Not down more than yesterday, but what carried you today? Sees the Twitter and Tesla, right?
Twitter was a huge
Yeah.
trade.
Twitter, Tesla, HOLX. Look at the daily candle on HOLX. It's insane. I sold already a few minutes ago. Yeah, it's a huge daily candle.
He sold.
I don't think I'm going to get filled on the NLS premium. I might have to buy the calls. The volume is too low to get filled on that premium. I'll have to put in a really low bid. If I don't get filled on that trade by like in like the next 5 minutes, I'm going to cancel it and buy the ones that JMA picked up. The 20s for January. You grabbed those already?
Yeah.
Yeah, I grabbed those too.
The reason I didn't want to grab those is I'm already theta negative and I'm just fucking piling it on with other contracts. I was trying to balance my portfolio out with some premium. What do I think about DraftKings, or why you think DraftKings is a good play? I see that it's at resistance right now, but wouldn't you wait for a breakout? I'm only holding DraftKings as I have a scumbag lotto on this. I took a scumbag lotto at $53 strikes for tomorrow's expiration. They're probably gonna go to zero. I took it as a news play because they got news on they're most likely legalizing sports betting in New York, and I was hoping that there was going to be a continuation of that news either today or tomorrow. So it's just a news gamble. Besides that, though, I think DraftKings doesn't look that bad. You break above 53, the thing's going to fly. Honeywell looks really good. You break this resistance tomorrow, this thing's going to fly. Johnson & Johnson strong like bull, man. Bounce off the low of the day. Beautiful. That cloud thing that I called out earlier, starting to move to.
Strong like bull.
Yeah, I'm not going to get filled on this premium. I'm going to cancel the premium and pick up the contracts. What'd you get filled at, Jamie?
110.
Yes. He sold?
How did I say yesterday, Sees?
He sold? He sold? It was so funny because it came out of nowhere.
I'm not playing Lulu earnings. I can give you a target. I'd probably target the Auto SR, 390 or 400. 390 or 400 would be the target on that. I don't know how much they typically run on earnings. They typically big. They don't run very much on earnings, actually. Yeah, their earnings moves aren't that big. So I'd probably go with like the 390. If 390 would be a decent target. Gap up, run into 390 if they have good earnings. If they have bad earnings, probably 350. But no, I don't play them. Could you explain the Bulldog? A Bulldog is just a double bottom with a curved back that pops up into a bull flag. It looks like a dog. There's also a giraffe. There's also a snake.
Dinosaur.
Yeah, there's dinosaur, Bronchiosaurus.
This one you high day?
There's a llama.
Giraffe.
How's the llama? The llama's like straight up. The llama's
Elephant.
yeah, there's an elephant on Apple. Apple's a perfect example of the elephant. Where's the apple? Here it is. You have the double bottom. There's the head, and you got the little trunk. You guys think we're kidding, man, but I took that trade on Apple. We made a lot of money. A snake is when there's no back. It's just a straight accumulation. And then it has, like, think of a snake perking its head up. Like a rattlesnake going to bite somebody. It has no back. It's just kind of like a accumulation. And then you pop up. It puts its head up.
Yo, CB, you kind of piqued my interest there.
What, Lulu earnings? You gonna play it?
No, I don't think I have the balls to it. Those options are expensive. I'd have to be out past probably February or March for it to be worth the squeeze, I think.
All right, I canceled that order, and I got filled at 115 on that NLS trade. If you guys did get filled on that, like maybe you put in a higher bid, that's still a good trade. I just didn't get filled, so.
Five minutes, boys.
What did I get? $20 calls, January 15th.
Jemi's gonna have a daily in golfing.
RHP looks like it's ready to run again. He almost hit my target, though I already closed it. CLSK just gave me a weekly buy signal. I have a nuts target on it. Been waiting months for it to fire a buy signal for me. Digital said CLSK. Clean Spark. Oh, that thing's flying. You're going to play earnings on that, though.
CSLK.
CLSK. Clean Spark. Got earnings. It's running into earnings, basically.
17-point day.
Yeah, it's up almost 18%. Are you already in that digital, or did you just buy it today? You just broke a weekly pivot. You have a lot of the same levels that I have, digital. I noticed.
Tesla's flying.
$60, is that the target you're looking at? Yeah, my target would be 51. This is a long-term hold, I'm guessing. How are their options? Guessing dog shit. Their options only go up to 25. This would be a shares play, a long-term hold shares play. You'd buy it here. Stop loss would be like $3, maybe even like $5, depending on how much you want to risk. And then you would just hold this thing and target like 50.
Keep an eye on PLTR here, guys. It's trying to break out.
Keep an eye on it. Digital. What do you mean, CB? You think we're all going to get involved?
Come here.
Inverse Bulldog would just be a cup and handle.
Yeah, CB, the people that have been calling out the NLS call sweeps have been calling NLS the baby Peloton.
Baby Peloton.
Peloton or PLTR?
They're calling NLS the baby Peloton.
Why is
20
it? Is it
seconds.
in the same same?
Yeah, Nautilus makes exercise equipment.
Okay.
Ten seconds.
Button
So
them up, boys.
If Peloton
5,
is going to run to like
4,
115, like Nautilus at 20 seems like a bargain.
Dude,
1.
everything was selling off in the close. I closed the day barely red because of that SPY lotto that we took, the SPY day trade. If I didn't take that trade, I would have been green. It's all good. You made a whopping $28 today, yeah. Better than losing $1.
My God, Tesla today was insane.
You guys, green or red on the day, especially making money on a day like today. That's not bad. Especially when it's continuation from yesterday. You're not in it yet, Digital? You said I'm going to buy today and buy on every dip. Ready to hold shares for 1 year and 3 months. Okay, I got you. Yeah, it's a long-term hold.
He sold? Pump it.
Yeah, almost my whole portfolio sold off on the close. Oh yeah, Johnson & Johnson took a hit on the close. What was that?
I saw that there was like an $800 billion sell side imbalance on market on clear for SPY.
Dude, everything sold off on the close. Except for Tesla. Tesla's the only thing that ran on the close. Oh, look at Square. I told you guys to watch Square above that level. Where was that level? It was 215. You're at 217. Watch it above 218. You'll get 225.
The cool part is if stuff sells off into close, people buy it up overnight. And if it runs up into close, people buy it up overnight.
Stocks will go up. Yeah, have a good one, Digital. I appreciate you sharing some tickers, man. Sharing the alpha. Appreciate that, man. But all right, guys. It's been a long, boring day. I'm going to call it. I released the Auto SR video. It's in the mentorship section. So if you guys were asking about that, just check it out there. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll be around for basically the whole day. I'm going to post some analysis later tonight, probably around 7 or 8 o'clock. So be on the lookout for that. That's all I got.
Yes.
Peace, guys.
You guys have a good one. I'll see you guys later.
Later.
Have a good one. Thank you.